Hi, Talbot. It's great to be back. I hope you're well. Last Sunday, we talked about the importance of character and specifically of honesty as it relates to building trust between people. And I've got to be honest, it's been a very hard week for me. Now, part of that is because of vacation last week, and you get to spend some time with family. You get to feel like life is a little bit normal, and then you come back in, not just to work, that's actually fine, but coming into COVID life again is just really, really difficult. And so that taste of normalcy where you get to be with other people and then back to whatever this is we're living through was really difficult. It was also difficult because we were lacking sleep majorly. Abby's got teeth coming in, and thankfully her fever's broken and she's feeling a little bit better, but there's still pain and sleep still hasn't fully returned to the Odorico house. So there's some difficulty with that. But the biggest thing for me just has been the frustration that I've had in the last couple of days with some of the new restrictions and regulations that the Simcoe County has put in place in terms of houses of worship and what they're asking us to do. They've actually increased restrictions as we've been opening up. And I've been really frustrated with the fact that there wasn't a lot of clarity early on. And so we looked at the wording they put out and we tried to make the best decision we could. And then now they're changing everything. And it means that we're going to have to make some changes too. And I'm really wrestling with what to do and what's the best way to move forward. So we'll have some announcements about that in the next week or two in terms of how we need to shift what we're doing. But in the meantime, how do I deal with my frustration? How do I deal with my anger and my resentment and my bitterness? There's a few good things I can do. I started going back to the gym this week. Gyms have opened again, and so I started exercising again, which has been a little bit helpful. Another thing is to take a nice walk. I'm out here in the beauty of nature on a trail. Figured I'd shoot this here. Get out, clear your head. That's a good thing too, but it doesn't really take away the anxiety forever. And so the thing that I want us to reflect on, and specifically for myself, this is for me, is found in Psalm 142. It says, "With my voice I cry out to the Lord. With my voice I plead for mercy to the Lord. I pour out my complaint before him. I tell my trouble before him." The first thing we need to do is to let God know how we're feeling, to pour out our complaint before the Lord. And it reminded me, I hadn't been doing that. I hadn't been sharing the struggle in my heart with God, giving it to him, letting him know how I felt. And so that was what I did this morning. It continues, "When my spirit faints within me, you know my way. In the path where I walk, they have hidden a trap for me. Look to the right and see, there is none who takes notice of me. No refuge remains to me. No one cares for my soul." That feeling of aloneness and isolation is obviously heightened as we are isolated and alone, but it's even worse when you feel resentful or angry or bitter or frustrated, because you do feel more alone than you actually are. That feeling of isolation increases and you just feel like nobody cares. And that's been a difficult thing for me to wrestle through. And one of the things that we tend to do is we tend to just vent and kind of dump on our friends, dump on people who we think might care. And so I'm sorry if I did that to you earlier this week. But what we should be doing is releasing all of that up to God. "I cry to you, O Lord," it says in verse 5. "I say, you are my refuge, my portion in the land of the living. Attend to my cry, for I am brought very low. Deliver me from my persecutors, for they are too strong for me. Bring me out of prison, that I may give thanks to your name." And the last thing, "The righteous will surround me, for you will deal bountifully with me." And to be honest, the heart of my frustration is that I am not surrounded by the righteous. I am not surrounded by the community of God, called by the Spirit of Christ into relationship together because of this stupid coronavirus thing. We aren't able to gather together as we would want. And even as we've tried to do that over the past few weeks, it hasn't looked the way I wanted it to. And now that we have to make additional changes, I'm thinking through the possibility of maybe even being further separated from you, which just kills me, because the idea of being surrounded by the righteous is part of the comfort that God brings, as he says in this psalm. So as much as all of this exists, and there will be some more information coming in the next few days and weeks, the thing I'd like to encourage you, and especially myself, to do is to value being together in whatever way you can do it. Try to make that a priority. As we open up, today they announced that the social gatherings can expand to 50 people, any type of social gathering. And so, do your best to go and see people. Do your best to go spend time with people as safely as you can. But value that, because being surrounded by the righteous is a comfort. Secondly, where you have frustration and anger and bitterness, put it to God. Cry out to him, lift up your voice to him, and then release it to him and say, you have to take care of this. It's too strong for me. And let it go. Let God work it out the way he sees fit. So those are just some thoughts that I had this Wednesday, and hopefully I'll see you all Sunday. If not, stay safe. God bless you. Have a wonderful week.